Yeah, there's been a lot happening in the last few days, specifically this weekend um, up in Canada. But in order to put this all in proper perspective, let's go back 2 years, well, almost 2 years now, where this pandemic started, and we all remember it was 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Well, 2 weeks has turned into 2 years. And people have had enough of this nonsense by now. But at first, I kind of went along with it. But then what kind of caught my attention is about 2 weeks or 2 months, I guess, into the pandemic. Uh, Everyone was kind of locked down and social distancing and so forth until the incident with George Floyd occurred. Oh, but then all of a sudden, people were encouraged to gather in large groups and yell and scream and protest. And for that time, all of a sudden, social distancing wasn't that important. It was more important to get out onto the street and support the regime. No, they weren't protesting the man, they were protesting for the man. Since this was a cause that was very much endorsed by the government, media, entertainment industry, and just the regime in general. In fact, June of 2020 was quite a demoralizing time for just normal Americans, Canadians, and so forth. Not only was there like 250 riots across the U.S., there was also like over 53 protests, George Floyd protests in Canada that week. And there was one protest in my uh, uh, locally in the city where I live. Now, of course, I didn't attend this protest, but they live streamed the speeches, and I listened to the speeches that people were giving, and it was just disgusting. It was nothing but anti-white hate, and sadly, it was a lot of brainwashed white people talking about how they hated themselves for being white. Basically, it was disgusting and demoralizing. And you had other rallies across Canada that had like thousands of people gathering downtown. Of course, the media portrayed them portrayed this as something great, but yeah, there was skirmishes and people would block traffic. It was not a good time for Western civilization, and it wasn't just Canada and the U.S. That had these rallies. There was rallies like in Europe, Australia, and even in Asia, for God's sakes. The only place where there wasn't George Floyd rallies was in Russia. Russia had zero of these rallies. Oh, but yet they're supposed to be our enemy. Huh? They're supposed to be the big boogeyman, according to CNN. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. No, I'm not under the delusion that Vladimir Putin is pro-white or anything, but he's certainly 1,000 times better than Joe Biden or Justin Trudeau. I can guarantee you that. But after like the summer of protests and riots, and it was kind of a refreshing change on January 6th to see patriots gather for a mostly peaceful protest to the tune of like 100,000 people uh, protesting at the Capitol and standing up for themselves. Now, yeah, things did get carried away, but 99% of the people there were peaceful and patriots. Of course, the media portrays this as something completely different, and but I was proud. I was proud to see white Americans stand up for themselves. Now, in Canada, up until this weekend, we didn't see such protests, but this weekend we did this truckers convoy, and being that my mother's Canadian, I was very proud to see Canadians this time stand up for themselves and take action and converge on the capital. But it wasn't just the capital city that had a massive protest. Like there was similar protests occurring right across Canada, and protests that either matched or exceeded the evil George Floyd protests. Of course, the media wouldn't admit that, but that was true. And I myself went downtown to where this protest was occurring, and there was nothing but positivity. It was a festive, joyous atmosphere. In sharp contrast to the George Floyd protests, where people were getting in front of getting up in front of the camera and behind the mic and just spewing this just spewing hate and nonsense. Like this was very nothing but positive vibes. People celebrating and just and standing up for freedom and just saying enough is enough, but doing so peacefully. And people from all walks of life. And again, not a shred of negativity whatsoever. Uh, until, of course, Justin Trudeau slithered out of his hole yesterday, and instead of addressing some of the legitimate concerns that truckers and other Canadians have, he instead doubled down and added fuel to the fire. Um, Going on about he doesn't he won't meet with people that fly so-called racist flags. Well, the people or the person that flew that swastika flag was more than likely a CSIS agent or an Antifa activist. You say, well, how do I know that? Well, if you remember, in Charlottesville, there was one lone individual carrying a swastika flag, and just by coincidence, he was one of the very few people that didn't get doxxed. Like just about all the men that marched in that rally got doxxed, except him. No one ever found out who he was at all. Oh yeah, what a coincidence that was. And of course, we all know about Ray Epps, who was encouraging people the day before to storm the Capitol. Oh, but he didn't get charged. There's 730 other people got charged, but not him. Yet he was encouraging people to do what he knew was at the very least, like trespassing. So obviously he was working for the FBI too. So this, oh yeah, the Canadian media focused only on these on that one inflammatory flag, and trying to make it as if it was some 1930s Germany style rally, which it wasn't at all. But of course, they wanted to imply that just to discredit the whole thing. And another thing I found really galling is again like dating back to the 2020 riots. there was many instances of statues of white men from the past that have been defaced, destroyed. In fact, that's what the rally in the United Right rally in Charlottesville was about. Was to protest the desecration or the destruction of the General Lee statue. And after that, like I don't know how many instances of statues that have been defaced with spray paint or hacked with a sledgehammer and taken down or whatever. Oh, but these people in Ottawa on the weekend had the audacity to put a hat and a placard on the Terry Fox statue, and they were all in the media as well as their friends like the evil Bernie Farber were all tied up in knots about this. Well, hey, how about these other statues that were being defaced the last 2 years? You didn't have much to say about that, now did you? Yeah, I thought that took a lot of chutzpah to bitch about that. Yeah, and it makes me question, like Terry Fox, like whenever the establishment, the regime, loves someone so much, it almost makes me skeptical of them. But anyways, that's just another issue for another day. But yeah, but overall, this past weekend, a very proud moment for Canada and